Stephen, I'm going to ask you what I just asked Secretary Bessent about Elon Musk's threat today and yesterday to primary Republicans who campaigned for fiscal restraint yet voted for the big, beautiful bill. He is furious for a lot of reasons, but is mostly citing the failure to rein in costs and spending. Your reaction to this tonight?
Well, this is the largest spending cut, Laura, in American history. Think about what's in this bill. The largest tax cut and reform in American history. The largest spending cut in American history. The largest welfare reform in American history. The largest reduction in federal spending ever achieved in a single bill. And then it also includes the most robust, comprehensive border security and immigration enforcement package we've ever seen. One that will allow us to deport millions upon millions of invaders. To oppose this bill is to support the invasion. To oppose this bill is to support the continued giveaways and freebies to cheaters and scam artists. To oppose this bill is to support a 68% tax hike on the American public, and is also to oppose this bill is to support a deprivation of all of the tax benefits that President Trump is fighting to deliver the middle class, like no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. The Senate passed this bill just today, demonstrating that they are fighting for President Trump. They are fighting for his agenda. They are not going to listen to an outside voice that does not represent the interests of the American people or the interests of the Republican Party. And the House is going to rally behind President Trump to pass this bill for America.
That was Deputy White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, who joins a list of top Trump allies, including Trump's favorite pollster and Republican lawmakers, who are now brutally and openly mocking and insulting Elon Musk after Musk condemned the one big beautiful bill. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends. Ouch, how the mighty have fallen. Between Miller and a Republican lawmaker and Trump's favorite pollster, Musk is catching a lot of shit. He's getting a lot of abuse as the party makes it very clear that they don't have much use for Elon Musk. Yes, he's the world's richest man. Yes, in terms of monetary support that he could offer a challenger, yes, that's formidable. But really, at the end of the day, this is a cult of personality, and they are lining up behind Donald Trump. And as harsh as Stephen Miller's language was there, suggesting that simply by opposing Trump's one big beautiful bill, you support illegal invasion and a tax hike and freebies and, welfare queens and all this other shit that they love to traffic in. I mean, my God, all of that spin that Stephen Miller was offering was quite dishonest. But as bad as that was, Trump's favorite pollster put it even more bluntly and hit Musk below the belt. Quote, "It's the ketamine talking. Trump pollster roasts Elon Musk, laughs off third-party threat." One Trump pollster is laughing off Elon Musk's threat to start a third party. In a Monday afternoon post on X, Musk reignited his feud with his erstwhile ally and boss, Donald Trump, over the latter's big, beautiful spending bill, which the Senate went on to pass Monday. Quote, "It is obvious with the insane spending of this bill, which increases the debt ceiling by a record $5 trillion, that we live in a one-party country. The Porky Pig Party," wrote Musk before musing that it's, quote, "time for a new political party that actually cares about the people." In the days since, Musk has continued to rage against the bill, as well as to threaten to fund primary challengers to Republicans who vote for it, while Trump has, in turn, threatened to strip Musk's companies of the federal contracts and subsidies they currently enjoy, as well as look into deporting the South African-born billionaire who is a U.S. citizen. And again, by the way, that is hella corrupt. I don't like Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk is a moron. I think Elon Musk has been hoisted by his own petard because he helped empower, endorse, and campaign and fundraise and bankroll the man who is now threatening him corruptly. So not much sympathy there, but again, insane and worth noting. Jim McLaughlin, a pollster for Trump, is not concerned about the political threat Musk poses to Trump. Quote, "I think it's the ketamine talking in the middle of the night," McLaughlin told the Washington Post. Quote, "Trump is the Republican Party right now. Trump is the conservative movement. There's not a hankering for a third party with Elon Musk." And as harsh as that is, it's also true in the sense that there's no compelling evidence. I mean, people will talk about in polls that they want a third party option. They don't like the duopoly, but when push comes to shove, they are very comfortable going back into the two comfortable, long-standing camps. So I doubt there's ever going to be a viable third party at the federal level in any time soon. A bombshell New York Times report published last month suggested that Musk was using ketamine, sometimes with other drugs, including ecstasy and psychedelic mushrooms, so often that it was affecting his bladder. So thus, that cheap shot from Jen McLaughlin mocking Musk's alleged drug abuse. So you have Trump's top deputy, Stephen Miller, the deputy White House chief of staff, who, according to many reports, is basically the power behind the throne, especially now that Musk is no longer in the picture, driving particularly immigration policy as well, the draconian, wildly unpopular, vicious immigration policy of the Trump administration. So it's not just Stephen Miller insulting and mocking Musk in this way. It's not just Trump's favorite pollster. It's also Republican lawmakers, the very sort of Republican lawmakers that Musk is threatening to fund primary challengers against. And they are also doing it on Fox News. Here's this clip.
Political party. He's calling out the Republicans for what he calls recklessly increasing the deficit. He also is threatening to create a new political party and primary anyone who votes for the bill. New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis joins me now. Does anybody in Congress listen to Musk any longer? Has he still any influence?
He might have some influence, but I think we're so focused right now on getting this job done. It seems to me that he's trying to divide the Republicans. He is trying to derail the president's agenda, and we're not going to allow that to happen. We need to secure this border. We're making the largest investment in border security. We've seen what happened in New York City. It just needs to be done. We are going to make sure that these tax cuts don't expire. It would be trillions of dollars, a 68% increase in taxes across the board for every American, for businesses. And you'll see the standard deduction, the child tax credit cut in half. But aside from that, we are delivering for working families, for the middle class, for our senior citizens, significant tax relief. So either, maybe he's mad because we're not focused on billionaire. Government's actually focused on the middle class for once, or maybe he's just upset over the EV tax credits.
Again, pretty bold mocking Musk in this way when Musk has threatened to leverage his status as the world's richest man to primary challenge you. Now, again, in the immediacy, there's no question that if you're a Republican lawmaker at the federal level, and if you have to choose between having Musk's backing or Trump's, there's no question, definitely in the short term, and they've made this abundantly clear, they believe that Trump is the more valuable guy to have in your corner. But as Musk himself has noted previously, Trump is 80 years old. Musk is, I think, in his mid-50s. And so Musk will be around a lot longer than Trump, presumably. And Musk also has an appetite for pettiness and vindictiveness that perhaps Republican lawmakers should contemplate as well. But again, they've made their choice. And it's just the boldness with this, that the increasing contempt that they hold Elon Musk. And again, no sympathy here. I think it's hilarious to see this civil war. I'd like to see it more equitable because it would make it more likely that it lasts longer. And I think a divided Republican Party is objectively good, not just for liberals and progressives and blue cities and blue states, but quite frankly, for Republican voters and constituents as well. Malliotakis mentioned this one big beautiful bill. It is objectively atrocious. The New York Times has a long list of the various provisions and their expenses, and I definitely urge you to check it out as well. It is lengthy. It is well cited. But the fact of the matter is, according to most nonpartisan analyses, which take into effect for consideration the recent changes in the Senate to the bill, they are estimating 17 million Americans will lose their Medicaid coverage as a consequence of passing the Senate version of the one big beautiful bill, which in some ways is even worse than the House version as well. And as we speak, the House version is inching its way closer and closer to passage. It's possible it won't, but again, if I'm a betting person, I would bet on Republican lawmakers sacrificing their principles and the benefit of their constituents and their voters, sacrificing all of that at the end of the day for Donald Trump's largesse, for Donald Trump's patronage. They don't care about Americans. They don't care about their own voters or constituents. They fear Trump more than anything. And so I expect most of them will ultimately fold, as we've seen them do time and time again. But as of now, it has not passed the House. It passed the Senate, had to go back to the House. The House and the Senate have to reconcile their versions and then get it to Trump's desk. We'll see what happens, but odds are it will pass. Now, again, returning to Elon Musk, Elon Musk also noted that the big beautiful bill seems to be a passage for Trump to abuse power. Shocker. Oh my God, what is this? Donald Trump potentially abusing power? Now, this was community noted, but it is worth reading. Removal of funding for enforcement of federal contempt of court orders is the actual crux of this spending bill. This is nominally aimed at removal of illegal immigrants, but obviously also enables many other abuses of power by the president, should this be allowed. And the poll overwhelmingly, basically by a 2-to-1 margin, said no. And now his community noted that this particular provision, which Trump definitely wanted, was stripped from the Senate version and sent back to the House. So as of right now, this is off the table unless the House says, no, we have to put it back in which case it'll then have to go back to the Senate. So as of right now, this is neutralized. But again, it's almost like a light bulb moment from Elon Musk. Oh my God. Guys, Donald Trump, holy shit, Donald Trump might try to codify things into law that enables him to abuse power. Who could have seen that coming except anybody who was literally paying attention at all? And this is, again, goes back to why I have no sympathy for Musk. Donald Trump, I'm not rooting for him at all. I think he is objectively the worst, most corrupt, most authoritarian president in American history. And I think the fact that he has the Republican Party and right-wing media behind him in cultish lockstep is incredibly dangerous and makes him already like even more formidable and dangerous, even though he's a moron. But I can't at the same time thinking, Elon, you moron, everybody was telling you how corrupt and authoritarian Donald Trump is. And if you were paying attention and intelligent and honest at all, you would have seen that on the campaign trail during the first 4 years of his presidency. And you just willfully ignored it because you were tied into knots over bullshit culture war issues. Elon Musk was so obsessed with, oh my God, there's like 14 trans people in the United States playing sports, and so we got to sacrifice everything to like get these trans people out of sport. Like that's the bullshit culture war stuff, the niche culture war stuff. This is what he was obsessed with. And so he cut effectively a $300 million check. And actually, that's not even fair because you could easily make the argument that with his twisting of Twitter into a pro-Trump cesspool, that the dollar value, the in-kind contribution he made to Trump's campaign during the 2024 election is incalculable. But in terms of raw dollars, it was between $275 and $300 million, $275 million, $300 million in that range in terms of direct contributions or spending with all the various PACs. You had the public endorsement. You have the very convenient alterations of the signal boosting of pro-Trump accounts on Twitter and the suppression of anti-Trump accounts on Twitter right after Musk endorsed Trump in July of 2024. Musk helped create the situation. And now that he and Trump are on opposite sides of an issue that, again, this is where I will agree with Trump. Trump never lied about this particular thing. Trump lies inveterately and pathologically, but he campaigned on rescinding the electric vehicle mandate. He campaigned on much of the one big beautiful bill. Are there lies in there? Yes, sure. But like the crux of what Musk is complaining about now, Trump was transparent about. And so this is where I mean, it's a Dracula versus Wolfman situation. It's a Godzilla versus Mothra thing where they both suck and they're both dangerous. And I have no sympathy for Musk, but again, how the mighty have fallen. He used to be the de facto shadow president, and now he's being openly mocked by not just the deputy White House chief of staff, not just by Republican lawmakers whom he is threatening to primary, but fucking pollsters as well. That's how low Elon Musk has been brought. And it's a damn shame in the sense that I wish he were more formidable in the Republican Party, so again, that civil war would persist. But it's also really, really pathetic of him to have created the situation and have then been flattened by the very steamroller that he enabled. You know, he turned the steamroller on, this, Zamboni on, and he aimed it, and then he fucked around and slipped off the front, and he's being flattened by it. And it's hard to have any sympathy for him. But there we have it. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.